Hey, it's Eric with Cat Avenue, and I wanted to take you through plate and sheet today and show you a little bit about dimensioning, printing, and then exporting a model to, let's say, your CNC or plasma device. So let's go ahead and select File, New, and I'm going to be doing segmented bends today, cylindrical, and I'm going to be using the segmented bend extended. This gives you the opportunity to extend the bend here and here. And then you can also adjust this outside dimension, which I'm going to show you how to do as well. So let's go ahead and select Continue. And we need to fill in some parameters here. So for this example, I'm just going to put in some values, 90-degree elbow, a 2-inch extension, 8 inches here. And then for the number of segments, we're going to choose 6. I'm going to leave this at 0. We're going to give it a thickness here, 0.125. And we're just going to select the average or the mean thickness. We could choose these as well if we wanted to. And then I'm going to create my flattened pattern view. Now we've got some dimensions here we can turn off. Let's go up into the toolbar underneath Auto Dimension Options here. And we can turn these off for now. That just gives us our frame, which is roughly 15 inches by 13 inches. A couple of other things I wanted to show you is you'll see this little palette down here of icons. This is the Special Properties palette. This will show up on certain fittings in plate and sheet. When it's red, it means we can choose various ways to set your seams here. We can also change the position of the seam. And this is your General Properties dialog. Here we can put a gap in between each pattern if we want to. We can also enter in a groove dimension. Select our material. This comes in for the bill of materials, which I'll show you in just a bit. We can specify the length of our lines and how many press lines we want here. Full pattern or half patterns if we need. So let's get into the next menu here, which is our lap setting menu here. If we want to, we can create a lap at the bottom of our shape. And that will adjust it as shown. We can also look at each of these segments separately. So we could look at the first segment. And then if we wanted to, we could maybe print this segment, and I'll show you how to do that. Come over to the printer icon and select Print Template. Now, if we print the current view, it's not going to come out to scale, so we want to print this. We'll go into our print setup to check that out. We're set to inches. Here we could pull down whatever Windows printer that you're using. And here we can see how many sheets are going to be required. In this case, it would be 2 sheets. We can adjust the margins or offset the frame so everything will fit better relative to the paper size. We can also export this to DXF. Now this comes in handy for if you're working with a router or if you're working with a plasma device or a CNC, or even if you're working with a CAD program to export the drawings out as needed. Let me just show you how this works. So we have several options here. We can export just the cutting profile or the cutting profile and the press lines, which we have selected. All export items, including text, and then we can export the profile as either polylines or arcing lines. See the notes at the bottom of this video, as I'm going to reference an older video which goes through some of the other options here you'll see, and how to pull those into your CAD program if need be. Let me show you an example of dimensioning. So let's go into the front view here. And we'll go into the vertical dimensioning tool here. I'm holding my mouse button down as I'm entering in these points. Now, if I change this extended dimension here to, let's say, 2 1/4, and then recreate my pattern, you'll see that this dimension is basically updated and reflects this new 2 1/4 dimension. Now I could mess with this as if, let's say, if I wanted to get this 3.83 equal to 4, I can adjust this accordingly to get it to that size. Let's go back into the auto dimensioning utilities here. We can turn on the lengths of all our press lines here. We can also go back and unfold all the segments and then adjust our text if we need to here. We want to make this a little bit smaller. So these are just some of the things you can do with plate and sheet, and as you can see, I haven't drawn anything. I'm just really putting in variables into this drawing window here and then using these icons here in order to create my drawing. Let me quickly show you how you would use the bill of materials. In the tools pull down, you'll see the materials editor, and here you can come in and modify the material or even define a new material and then give it a cost. So once you've done that, you can come back down here into the mass properties editor. It will figure out the total area, perimeter, and so forth. So as you can see in this example, it breaks down all the shapes and the cost associated with that. So I hope this has been helpful. Feel free to call me at 888-271-7121. You can also reach me on the website at cadavenue.com/support. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next video.